Part 6. Here are 10 ways you can improve your interview skills so you come across as a seasoned professional interviewer every time. Part 1 of 3. When it comes to marketing and getting exposure for your business, the more interviews you can give to website owners, podcast shows, magazines, newspapers, e-zine, newsletter publishers, social media influencers, YouTube video channel owners, radio talk show hosts, TV talk show hosts, you name it, the better it will be for you, your career, your business, your bank account, and your interviewing skills. When it comes to giving those interviews and being interviewed, you must be ready. How do you prepare? Simple. Follow these 10 easy ways to improve your interview skills, and you'll be ready to approach and secure all the interviews you can get. So here we go. 10 ways to improve your interview skills right now. Interview tip number 1. Closely listen to other people being interviewed on the radio, online, TV, YouTube, and listen to what's asked of them and how they respond. Listen and watch for the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yes, actively listen to people who are interviewed on the radio, online, on podcast shows, TV shows, etc. Listen and learn. You know, the more you hear other interviewees, the more you'll learn and the more comfortable you'll feel when it's your turn to get behind the microphone for an interview. Listen to short and long interviews and play along with the host as if you're the one being interviewed. To prepare for short and long interviews, have a list of 6 to 12 questions, or even a longer list, like 24 or 48 questions, so you're prepared for any length of interview, short and long. Can you learn anything from how others respond to their interviews? Absolutely. Are you prepared? To the degree they perform in front of the microphone or camera, you too need to match their performance and even excel beyond it. Interviewing is a performance. Don't forget that. You are providing the entertainment when you're interviewed. So you too have to connect with the audience and not just the person interviewing you. Give them great answers, a smile, laughter, the real you, and something to remember you by. You're the guest of honor on their show, so get excited. What do people who get interviewed say? How do they say it? How do they respond? Do they appear nervous, uneasy, uncomfortable, pressured, angered by the interviewer, or maybe another TV guest? Are they excited, happy? Do not allow the interviewer to agitate you or make you angry. Keep your head, keep your cool throughout the interview. Never raise your voice, never shout, and never talk over other guests or the host, and never, ever, 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 ever lose your cool. Stay calm throughout, even if you don't get the chance to speak, because there are other guests who may be losing control. Don't let that be you. It's better not to get excited and, antsy and, I didn't get to respond. Don't let that be you. Show the mature side of you and always keep your cool. After the interview is over, what will people walk away knowing? They saw that you were in control while others possibly were not. No matter what your position is on a topic, people will respect people who are always in control of their emotions. Keep calm always. You'll make more inroads when you can manage your emotions and remain calm under pressure. Notice how others come across. Do they sound or look good or bad? You might only be on the air for 5 minutes, maybe 3, maybe longer. Doesn't matter. Give your best performance and you'll be remembered for how you composed yourself, your quick, intelligent responses, your positive energy, and your smile. Learn from others. And don't repeat the bad, but only the good. Seriously, if you see someone say something you thought about saying, or could see yourself saying, but you saw the host and or how the audience reacted negatively to it, don't say it. Strike it off your can't say list when giving interviews, or reword it so it leaves a positive impression rather than a negative one. You see, sometimes you can pick up certain catchphrases or sound bites listening to others being interviewed, which you can then use in your own interviews. Listen to others being interviewed also educates you on a variety of topics and subjects. Watching and learning can turn you into a great interviewee and TV guest. Interview tip number 2. Listen to the host or person conducting the interview, asking all the questions for these tips. You can learn a lot about the interviewing process by listening to the host and on a number of different shows and their interview styles. How do they introduce guests, run their shows, ask questions, transition to breaks for ads, bring back the show and the interviewee, you, into the conversation again? If you are going to be on a particular show or would like to be interviewed on a specific show, here's a great tip to ensure your success for, number 1, getting it, the interview, and number 2, being interviewed on the show. Are you ready? All right. Listen to 10 plus past shows where they interviewed a guest so you can learn more about the host's style for interviewing guests. When you can get a feel for that host and how they operate, you can better help them to interview you. Get familiar with different style formats. Single guest, you, multiple guests, multiple hosts, etc. By doing this, you'll get comfortable with different formats and won't be surprised by any of them. Listen to a variety of interviews to get comfortable with these formats. Study them and master them. Specifically, how are they asking questions? Are they friendly or are they antagonistic and likely to try to produce or generate some form of controversy with you to help boost their show's ratings? Yeah, I've seen that before and I don't like it. Choose ahead of time if you'd like to be interviewed in a positive light, or if you're strong enough to go into the jungle and be interviewed by someone only interested in boosting their ratings by placing you on the spot and in hot situations that might only agitate you and not really bring out the best in you for their audience, let alone the truth or the real story. Why take on a tough interview like that? Maybe for exposure or to set the record straight. If you have something to say about a certain topic, pass on those negative comments and only take on positive interviews. It's all up to you. Your press room, your media room on your website. Well, thank you for keeping your cool. Be prepared, in general, to be interviewed by all kinds of people. Imagine yourself being interviewed by a particular host, and that's okay, but how would you respond to their questions? And practice how you'd respond to pressing questions or comments that push your buttons by an interview host who, like I said, wants to agitate you a little bit. So practice in both of those scenarios, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Something else. Interview tip number 3. Watch others being interviewed on TV and on the internet, and often. What can you learn by watching other people's interviews? A lot. You learn what to wear, what not to wear, how to respond and how not to respond, how to sit, stand, and how not to, among other attributes to giving live, in-person, video-recorded interviews for television or distribution over the internet. Watch how the person being interviewed composes themselves physically. Do they lean forward? Do they sway side to side when responding to questions? Or do they close their eyes when answering them? Watch their body language. When it comes to your eyes, keep them open and on target, looking at the host or the camera or the audience from time to time. But be mindful of your posture when giving answers. How you hold yourself together can be interpreted as not being truthful or sincere. And people may not believe or respect you when you answer such uncomfortable questions. If your body is swaying or your eyes keep blinking or you kind of look away, no. Are the guests groomed well? Honestly, if you're ever interviewed on television or other video outlet, look your best. Look sharp, well-groomed, well-rested. Don't go in looking tired. It's hard to look relaxed when you're nervous, so dress for success, as they say. If you must, get help with your attire, but always look your very best. Before you even open your mouth, people will judge you based on your image and how you carry yourself on screen and in front of an audience.